Hello, everyone. Welcome. We are letting the room fill and we'll be getting started in just a moment. Thank you for being with us. Hi, everyone. Thank you for being here. We're seeing the number of attendees go up, and we are very excited to see that. We're going to let it go up for just a little bit longer, and then we'll get started. Hi, thank you all for being here. Well, let's get started. We are so excited to be kicking off this program today with you all and are grateful for everybody joining us on a Friday night as we get to launch the first municipally funded disability cultural center in the country. It is now open virtually. It is an honor and a gift to get to be a part of this. My name is Emily Badix, and I am the interim director at the Longmore Institute on Disability. I am co-director of the San Francisco Disability Cultural Center, where we are so grateful to be working with the LC and Lily Cox Haven of Hope on the launch of this beautiful new home for disability, culture, and community. Some access notes today before we dive into all the fun stuff ahead. We've got some logistics bits. Next slide, please. So for more personalized and reliable captions, you can access them on Stream Text. We're going to drop that link into the chat, but it's dcc.page/captions. Today's program will feature 4 short films followed by a panel discussion with the disability culture creators featured. And then we will open up for that community-wide dance party that we are really excited about. If you would like to access audio description for the videos or for the dance party, we ask that you please call in the audio description line. So get ready, I'm going to read a number out loud. 1-669-444-9171. And you'll need to enter meeting ID 850-4654-5707. When they ask for a participant code, you can just hit pound. And if you didn't catch that number, it was sent in the reminder emails that went out. So you can grab it there, or we can help you in the Q&A portion. So we've turned off chat today, other than sending a few key links through that space, but we have a Q&A space as well. And that is also not just a place for tech support and questions, but also a place where we invite you to share your reactions, have conversation, and be in dialogue with the other participants who are here today. If that space is inaccessible to you while the program is going on and you'd like to be able to access that later, you can shoot an email to access@disabilityculturalcenter.org, and we'll happily share that afterwards. So now that we've got through the logistics piece, it is my pleasure to introduce my co-directors for the Disability Cultural Center, Mika Kie-Weisbuck and Dagny Brown. I'll pass it to Mika first.
Thanks so much, Emily, and thanks everyone for being with us today. My name is Mika, and I am a neuro-umami, non-binary community activist and someone who's deeply committed to disability justice in all areas of my life. Next slide, please. I'm also a longtime part of LC and Lily Cox Haven of Hope, the lead operator of the Disability Cultural Center. Haven of Hope, under the leadership of Dr. Darcel Lar, who we affectionately call Rainita, our queen, has spent over a decade fighting for a world where individuals enjoy equitable opportunity and the support to cope, heal, and flourish. Our majority BIPOC and women and genderqueer-led team has deep lived experience with disability, while we also recognize we work in communities where disability has not always been adopted as an identity. So because of that, we're thrilled to be partnering with the Longmore Institute on Disability to bring the DCC to life. And our hope is to create a space of belonging, whether you're a loud and proud member of disability community or have a complicated relationship with the term disabled. And this slide shows the DCC team around the dining room table with a birthday cake on it, smiling at the camera. And next to it, on a tan background, the text and logos read, "The San Francisco Disability Cultural Center is a proud project of LC and Lily Cox Haven of Hope, in partnership with the San Francisco Human Services Agency, Department of Disability and Aging Services, and the Paul K. Longmore Institute on Disability at San Francisco State University." Next slide, please. I also wanted to share the mission and the vision of the Disability Cultural Center. So we envision a city with a strong sense of disability culture and identity, where the people with disabilities who live, work, and visit actively engage in the services and supports available to them, fully participate in civic life, and feel valued and proud of who they are. And our mission is, by providing educational, artistic, and social networking opportunities, the San Francisco Disability Cultural Center brings diverse people with disabilities together to access resources, advance social justice, and foster disability culture, community, and pride. So whether you join us virtually or in person at our future brick and mortar location, our goal is to create a warm, inviting space that celebrates disability culture. And with that, I'll turn it over to my colleague, Dagny.
Hi, y'all. Should I give a minute for the interpreters? Looks like it. Okay. Good. Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Dagny Brown, and I am so honored and excited to be here. I am the co-director of the Disability Cultural Center with Mika and Emily. I am a disabled parent and a child of a disabled mother. I'm super excited to bring creative intergenerational programming to the DCC, specifically holding a warm space for disabled parents and intergenerational families of all shapes and origins, to share in all the joy and complexity and pain and hilarity of this journey that we are on together. So as you all know, this is the DCC's very first event. So I want to give you a tiny peek of what's to come. This event is kicking off a year of virtual programming, where we'll have more gatherings like this, and also cooking classes, panel discussions, dance classes for all bodies, time to just chill and be together, slow dating, film screenings, support groups, affinity groups, and so much more. And then if we could have the next slide, please. Okay. And then starting in July 2025, we will be opening our hybrid space at the Kelsey Civic Center, which is a disability forward accessible housing complex. And it will open in the beginning of next year. So we're literally building it from the ground up. There's a slide here that shows Emily, Mika, and myself. They're in two different pictures. One of them, we are smiling on a sunny day in front of the future building. It's a construction site behind us. And the next one is the three of us together again in hard hats with vests and in the future home on the construction site when we got to do a tour, and we're smiling very joyfully in all of them. So throughout this process, we've been collaborating closely with the Kelsey and their co-owner of the space, Mercy Housing, to create an accessible space that meets our community's needs. And they've really been dream partners in this endeavor. So excited, and thank you so much to the Kelsey and to Mercy Housing. And just because I know you all are wondering, here's a little information on the housing. So there will be a housing lottery for when the Kelsey Civic Center opens, which will be, the lottery is in September 2024. And the units will start moving in January 2025. And while we don't have any piece of that, we don't have a part of that, we will absolutely be posting information on our social media as well as in our newsletter. So we're going to drop the links in the chat for how you can connect with us there. The brick and mortar location will be an indoor-outdoor community space that hosts mostly hybrid events. And it will also be available for our community members to host their own events and meetings and have their own accessible space. And then if we could go to the next slide, please. And we just really need to say thank you to a few of the folks that have made this possible and gotten us to this point. So the Disability Cultural Center was dreamed up by two people who now hold different positions, but we must shout out Nicole Bond and Shireen McSpaden for their early work planting seeds for this center. So thank you so much to everyone who participated in focus groups, town halls, surveys, all the disability thought leaders, everyone who's let us pick their brains and buy them coffee and get on Zoom calls and share about their communities and their dreams. Just thank you. You are the foundation for everything that we are doing. Our wonderful advisory council, a group of disabled leaders who have agreed to support the center and guide us through the trickier and stickier parts of this process. And finally, the DCC is made possible through funding from the San Francisco Human Services Agency Department of Disability and Aging Services. Thank you to the exceptional DOS team for your support and enthusiasm for the DCC. We are so lucky to be working with you all. And now, I think that's enough talking. Let's get into, oh, Emily.
We just have a quick note that we're hearing some concerns in the Q&A that Spotlight is not working for folks to see the interpreters. Just a access note, we are spotlighting our interpreters. We are making sure to spotlight only the speaker and the main interpreter. So it seems like the problem is folks who are joining by mobile, because you need to slide through to find interpreter. You never know if Zoom has thrown some fun curveball at us with an update, because we are definitely doing all the spotlight features we normally do. But we're available to keep trying to troubleshoot in the Q&A box if people are still having complex challenges, and we apologize for any disruption in access to interpreting with this challenge some guests are having. With that, we're going to pass it back to dive into our screening.
To get started?
Yes.
Okay. So now it's time for our showcase. Our first performance is from Lotus Boy, a transgender, unapologetically disabled, neurodivergent, and chronically illustrious Chinese American king, drag king. This begins with a content note that there are some flashing lights. So you can call in for audio description if it's a conflict for you, or you can rejoin us in just a little over 4 minutes. So their performance is titled Stronger by Ravina. So let's get into it. Thanks so much, y'all.
Holy is the sunrise, clear as the water. I was so naive to think a man could be stronger than me. I'm stronger, stronger, stronger. You make me love everybody but me, but me, but me. You make me hurt everybody. Almost sacrificial, I'm laying here trembling. A call from heaven. Meant to be a mother and a lover, but you wouldn't let me alone. I know you love to see me broken. You live to see me confused at my knees. Don't talk too soon, I ain't dead yet, but I am. Holy as the sunrise, clear as the water. I was so naive to think a man could be stronger than me. I'm stronger,
thank you for that first performance. This next performance features a film that was part of Easter Seal's Disability Film Challenge, where disabled filmmaking teams have 1 week, start to finish, to put together pieces that promote new conversations in disability storytelling. The film that we will watch is titled One Night Stand, and it stars lead actress Daisy Washington, who will be joining us shortly. And this film was co-directed by Shayna at the Longmore Institute, who is helping make our tech possible today and hiding out behind the scenes. So thank you, Shayna. And we hope you enjoy this next film.
Direct to the nose. Oop, crotch spray, nice choice. May I present everything you need for your first one-night stand?
Nope, don't want a one-night stand anymore.
Dude, I did so much research last night. My laptop caught like 3 viruses, and I think my Minecraft account got hacked.
Dedication.
Anything for you, roomie. Tonight has to go well.
Right? I mean, it's finally time I start my hoe era.
I got 2 pills. If you take the red pill, I'll tell you everything I've learned about sex from anime and fan fiction.
And what about the blue one?
You'll have really fresh breath. Dancing is the hottest foreplay.
Is there a reason we're saving room for Jesus?
And that's how I got my first middle school boyfriend.
Maybe we should have gone to at least one party in college.
Next, you gotta know how to talk dirty. Give me your best pickup line.
That sweater's cute. It'll look even cuter on my floor.
That's already been done before. You gotta think of something more creative, like, are you an oasis in the desert? Because I've been searching for something to quench my thirst.
Are you the clothes I just took out of my shitty dryer because you got me wet in all kinds of places?
Are you the neighbor's cat? Because everyone's gonna hear you yelling all night.
Are you my LA Times news subscription because I want to spread you open and read you cover to cover?
Okay, are you a wisp? Because I think I just scrambled my brains.
Are you a taco stand because I want that beef inside me?
Bex, you're a lesbian.
Yeah!
If I've learned one thing from binging Mad Men, is that nothing says casual sex like hors d'oeuvres.
You sure? This seems like a bit much.
Just wait till you make her breakfast in the morning. She'll definitely be back for seconds.
Seconds? I'm deleting her number after tonight.
Oh no, I forgot something. You can paint her like one of your French girls, like you did with Claire.
Dude, invasion of privacy.
The walls are really thin. No wonder Monet was getting babes.
Grace, that was a private thing I did with my ex. I'm not about to do it with some random girl whose name I can't even remember right now. This is a hookup, nothing more.
But it can become more.
But I don't want that.
Doesn't everybody?
No. The only time anyone has ever seen me as a sexual being is in the context of some huge, slow burn, multi-year romance. I need to know somebody can want me without being in love with me.
Oh. I guess that makes sense. I just thought you missed all this lovey-dovey stuff.
Why would I? I have you. She's here. Everything's a mess. Shit. Hi.
Hey.
Come in.
Sorry, I went a bit overboard.
Never mind.
Your dress is cute. It would look much cuter on the floor, though.
Our next film is titled Beat of the Earth, featuring choreography by Purple Fire Crow, also known as Antoine Hunter, and performed by 5 deaf and hearing urban jazz dance company dancers here in the Bay Area. Antoine will also join us for the discussion shortly.
What about sunrise? What about rain? What about all the things that you said we were to gain? What about killing fears? Is there a time? What about all the things that you said was yours and mine? Did you ever stop to notice all the blood we've shed before? Did you ever stop to notice this crying earth, this weeping shore? What have we done to the world? Look what we've done. What about all the peace that you pledged your only son? What about flowering fields? Is there a time? What about all the dreams that you said was yours and mine? Did you ever stop to notice all the children dead from war? Did you ever stop to notice this crying earth, this weeping shore? don't know where we are. Although I know we're drifting by.
That was amazing. Our final piece is a sing-along with Tiny Desk winner Galen Lee. She will lead us in Birdsong at Home, and then we get to chat with her shortly after.
So I call this song Bird Song. And what's going to happen is I'm going to set up the loop and we will come in together and we're going to sing this line twice. We're going to sing, bird, why do you sing? Fate has clipped your wings. So the words are, bird, why do you sing? Fate has clipped your wings. And we're going to do that twice. And then you are going to keep singing that line all the way through the song until we end together. And I'll do a bunch of other stuff. So let's practice it once at home. So, bird, why do you sing? Fate has clipped your wings.
Apologies, I am going to go to a backup option for this video.
Why do you sing? Fate has clipped your wings. Bird, why do you sing? Fate has clipped your wings. You make me feel like a bird in the sky, fly running round and I can't fall down. You make me feel so free, like I just came awake, not afraid to be. You make me feel like a bird in the sky, fly running round and I can't fall down. You make me feel so free, like I just came awake, not afraid to be. You make me feel like a bird in the sky, fly running round and I can't fall down. You make me feel so free, like I just came awake, not afraid to be. You make me feel like a bird in the sky, fly running round and I can't fall down. You make me feel so free, like I just came awake, not afraid to be. Bird, why do you sing? Fate has clipped your wings. Bird, why do you sing? Fate has clipped your wings.
Oh, wow. Well, I think personally that if that little showcase of talent is a omen for what's ahead at the Cultural Center, then we are in for one hell of a good ride. But of course, I am a little biased here. But I am so grateful that all of these performers shared these pieces with us and that we got to launch the center with those pieces, which really were selected to cover the range of disability culture that we're hoping to show off, and just a taste of many more things ahead. I would now like to introduce Claudia Alec to join on screen to kick off our panel discussion with the performers you've just seen. And Claudia, if you can also please begin by sharing a bit about yourself too, before you invite everyone else to come on, because you too are a disabled cultural producer and we want to highlight that. So thank you, Claudia, for being here with us, and I will pass it to you.
I am so wide open. What beautiful art. Just give me a moment. The San Francisco Disability Cultural Center hosts virtual gatherings that celebrate the joy, creativity, and brilliance of disability communities in San Francisco and beyond. And this is the first city-funded disability culture center in the country, We're super excited there's going to be a brick and mortar, but for right now, I celebrate the digital connectivity. I come from Calling Up Justice. That's my trans media social justice practice. I produce performances of justice on stage, online, and on the streets. It is such a pleasure to be here. We've had a lot of folks just saying beautiful affirmational comments in our question and answer part. So I'm going to lift some of those up in a moment, but I wanted to start with an access check-in. My access check-in is I've got some allergies going on. So you might see me pull out a tissue, and that's just me blowing my nose, not having big emotions. Other than that, all my access needs are met. I would love to start off this panel with, this might seem like a basic question, but I feel like it's the most fundamental one. I would love to ask you all, what does disability culture mean to you? The disability community is not homogenous. We have a lot of different answers to that question, and I'm excited for what I'll receive from you. And I will start with Lotus Boy, if that's okay.
Hello, everyone. My name is Lotus Boy. I use he, him, z, zir, or they, them pronouns. I am a fair-skinned, mixed Chinese American transgender person with straight black hair that is cut into a mullet with short, straight bangs. I have a circular dangling septum piercing with wearing round eyeglasses with black frames and a black tank top. And I currently have all of my access needs met. Thank you, Claudia, for asking.
So what does disability culture mean to you?
To me, disability culture, although it's not easy to define in a few sentences, is the magic and the intimacy, quoting amazing disabled activist and theorist and culture producer Mia Mingus here, who coined the term access intimacy. And I think that us disabled folks, and especially disabled, QT, Black, Indigenous, people of color, folks who have multiple axes of marginalization, the ways in which we create and find and offer intimacy with ourselves and the world is so different than everyone else, than abled people or non-disabled people. And so for me, because culture kind of shapes all of our understandings of the world, right? No matter what type of culture we're thinking about, I think the uniqueness around disability culture is that we are used to innovating, right? We're used to, when these structures that were never built for us, never built to even consider what is an access need, let alone meeting our access needs. When we are failed consistently by these structures, we are consistently innovating. We're consistently caring for each other and caring for everyone around us because we know what it's like to not be cared for. So for me, when I think about the term disability culture, although I don't know fully what it is, right? I think that at the core, it's rooted in just this deep sense of care and intimacy and vulnerability, right? Because whether we like it or not, oftentimes we have to be vulnerable in order to get these access needs met, in order to show up as our full selves. I'm done speaking now. Thank you.
Thank you. Also, thank you for reminding me that doing a visual description can be a very useful thing to add to your introduction. I am an African-American woman with dreadlocks and a rainbow polka dotted dress. And I am in front of an image that says SF Disability Culture Center on the bottom. I loved your response to this question. I would love to ask some more panelists this question. Daisy Washington, I think I want to ask Daisy, and then I might also toss to Antoine. I'm going to ask everybody this question. So I'm going to ask Daisy, then Antoine, and then Galen. Thank you. Hey, hello, Daisy. What does disability culture mean to you?
Oh, hello. As you all heard, my name is Daisy Washington. I am a mixed African American and Latina woman, young woman. I am currently wearing a mint green sweater. I have short pink, blue, and green curly hair, and I am wearing silver framed glasses. To me, disability culture, I really agree a lot with the description that Lotus Boy provided. Another piece or a bit of it that I would like to add as my own experience with disability culture kind of stems off of that intimacy. I feel that within our culture, we create this final boundary of acceptance that creates it creates like so much more passion and compassion for people around you. I feel, in my life, the people who love and accept me, um, I'd argue are some of the most remarkable people, you meet and whatnot, because they're able to see and be able to just understand that I am a person. And I feel that that is like a piece of our culture that we create, being disabled and um, interacting with other disabled people and then interacting with non-disabled people and creating that boundary, that last piece of like stepping out of a lot of our cultural norms and whatnot. So yes, that's my contribution.
There are little hearts that are floating up on the screen in delight at these responses. Purple Fire Crow, can I ask you the exact same question? I'm usually more interesting when I ask people questions, but every answer is different and awesome. Purple Fire Crow, what does disability culture mean to you?
Hello, everyone. Yes, I'm Purple Fire Code. The physical description of what? Yeah, we have an African American Charlie Blackfoot, dark milk chocolate skin, yeah, and lot ebony lot pulled back. It's almost about 4 foot long now. Now, ebony bush beard that have a shirt, the stupid person, yeah, that with the blue, yeah, blue background. What a disability culture means to me. We are really cool people. Cool is cool spirit. It's like the X-Men that have different superpowers, and we are learning how to use them. Our disability is not a curse. It's the gift to be different in this world, to feel and move and smell and everything different, that we come together as a beautiful community to provide things that different individuals can provide for each other, than I provide everything for myself. And but also how we cook, how we love, how we create music. Yeah, that's our Disney culture is how we do it, and really hope that we learn from each other of how to provide the different kind of disability culture soul food. You know what I mean? And that. So that's what I mean. I'll stop right there.
Disability culture soul food. Now I'm hungry. Galen, would you come up to the stage and respond to this question? I've already had some delightful exchanges with you about disability culture, but what do you want to share with us?
Hi, everybody. I'm Galen Lee. I am a short white woman sitting in an electric wheelchair. I have dark brown hair pulled back in a braid and a yellow flower clip and a purple blue dress in my living room. And so I'm just so excited to be here and to talk about disability culture. The thing that stuck with me is I was at a gig and I was backstage one day and I saw a poster about the tip of the iceberg culture. Like culture is an iceberg and we only see the tip. It's like the music and the food and the writing and I the poster wasn't about disability culture, but I realized at that moment, like, obviously disability has a culture, its own culture. It's how we think about time, kind of what Purple Fire Crow said, like how we think about time and food and all the areas and as Lotus Boy said, with access, intimacy, and or Daisy, like all of these things go together and shape our entire experience of the world. But then because of that, because we're part of this unique body minds that experience the world in a way that's not the norm, I guess what I love about it is that it shapes the kind of music and art and words and film that we make and what we're interested in talking about. So that to me is disability culture, is the innovation, the thinking outside the box, the unique perspectives that otherwise haven't like historically been talked about. The disability experience. We're only like 50 years into being able to really openly share about our disability. It's pretty new, and so there's a lot of exciting territory, even though disabled people have been creating forever. Being able to share it so openly with the rest of the world is really important. And the last thing I'd say is that I just think disabled people are people, right? And so a lot of our art touches on universal things that really affect everyone, but they don't have to like experience it so young perhaps, or so openly or so vulnerably, but like they're all just human issues. So like what's great about disability culture is not only can we bring all our other identities to our work and our disability identity, but then it also opens this path for other people to think about their own lives differently and recognize the ways that maybe they've blocked off vulnerability. It kind of cuts to the quick of their own heart, so we can have these discussions that we maybe wouldn't be able to have otherwise. So I just am in love with disability culture, and I'm so glad to be here with you all.
I feel like I'm getting a masterclass in the responses to this question. I consider myself a cultural producer as a title in the world. And that means that I think the work I do is central to producing culture. I want to ask you the question of how is art central to disability culture? I'm curious, and that's me being a little biased and bringing my own bias to the conversation. I think art is central, and so feel free to disagree with me, but I'm curious, how is art central? How is your art central to disability culture? And I might just go backwards, and so maybe I'll start with Galen and then invite Purple Fire Crow and then Daisy and then Lotus Boy, if that feels okay to folks. Amazing. Yay. Welcome back, Galen. Yeah, how is art central to disability culture?
Well, this is Galen speaking. I guess to me, it's what comes out of us. It's like what we are experiencing in the world, we transmute into art. And that's like just one of the many really valuable ways that we can show what's going on inside our minds, to the rest of the world. And I think that's why art is so important to disability culture, because it doesn't just educate like non-disabled people, it connects people with similar experiences that might not know it unless they have this art to like have a touch point for both of them to like connect on. I just think art gives us this ability to access our humanity in a way that very, very few other things do. And that's how to me, that is like the whole point of disability culture, is like creating this place for us to be like fully ourselves with each other and people who maybe aren't experiencing the world the same way we do, but we can still connect because art itself is bigger than all of us. Yeah, that's my answer. I hope that makes some sense. I'm excited to hear what everybody else has to say.
All I know is I'm seeing hearts go across the screen over and over again. Hearts of affirmation, hearts of inspiration. Purple Fire Crow, I'm curious, how do you think art is central to disability culture?
I missed the question. I saw so many hearts throughout the screen that I wasn't able to see it. Do you mind repeating it? Yeah, do you mind repeating the question for me?
How is art central to disability culture?
How is art central to disability culture? Well, I would say it's our soul. It's the core of art. Art itself, it's the core of our culture. You can't separate who we are as humans, as body minds. It really is at the core and at the center of who we are. When we express ourselves, it requires a lot of vulnerability. We're able to show our rawness. We're able to reveal the pain that we may experience, and we're allowing people to have a glimpse into that. When individuals hear art, it means that they're also able to see our history, our culture. We're able to demonstrate to them our fears. So it really demonstrates how central it is to who we are. It gives us more visibility. I hope my answer to your question is clear, but that's what I feel.
So clear, so beautiful. I apologize for not pausing so we could do a more graceful transition with interpreters, but y'all did a really gorgeous job, and that was a beautiful response. Yes. Also, thank you to Lotus Boy for responding to a question in the chat. This audience is so smart and so beautiful, and they not only posted affirmational comments, they also asked questions about your art. So thank you for answering that question directly in the Q&A section. There were several questions for you, Purple Fire Crow, as well. Could I call Daisy Washington up? Daisy Washington, I'm curious, what do you think? How is art central to disability culture?
So for me, I think like back to history classes and when we learn about different cultures, one of the most important pieces is understanding them through the art that they created. Their culture influences it so much. You see all of like Mayan art when you're studying Mesoamerica or African art from, the motherland Africa. And I think that, when you think back on our impact and as a culture, what we bring, art is something that just expresses us and it really helps people understand the culture that we have built and created and continue to create. I also am a big believer that art imitates life and then vice versa. So seeing, more representation, as an actor on the screen or, from writers writing in the writing room to producers and directors, us creating art and being a part of the art also does a lot to influence, the way that disability and its culture is perceived. So that's how I feel about it.
This is why I have to be muted when other people speak, because I'm just screaming, yes, yes. I can't agree hard enough. And I love the idea that we're not only making the world, we're not only reflecting the world, we are making the world we reflect. That's beautiful. Lotus Boy, I'd love to invite you up. to ask you the same question. How is art central to disability culture?
Hey, this is Lotus Voice speaking again. Thanks for this question, Claudia. I'm definitely in agreement with a lot of what has already been shared by the other incredible artists and panelists. I think that I would say that, like, to slightly push back on you, Claudia, because you said you might disagree. I think that art can only be central to disability culture when there are safe and accessible spaces that are created for us, right? And that doesn't necessarily have to be something as big and incredible as the Disability Cultural Center, which we're all here to witness and celebrate. When I say a safe and accessible space, I think about the first time I ever watched someone do drag on a YouTube video, right? And I was with another friend who is a queer trans person of color, and being able to just experience that with someone else who, even though they weren't disabled, they still understand me in a certain way. We have that intimacy. They know what my access needs are, allowed me to be open to the even possibility of being like, I can do that someday, you know? And I actually wasn't very open or out with my disabilities as a drag artist until 2020 because of the rampant ableism that exists in the entire world, as we know, but I think in particularly performance art spaces. And it's been since coming out more publicly and making intentional efforts to connect with other disabled performers and disabled QT BIPOC performers. It's been so incredibly healing and life-changing. And I find that when any disabled people connect and get together, magic is already going to happen. But then when artists, disabled QT BIPOC artists get together, we're inherently like creating more space for people and more community to also get permission to do the same. And yeah, like I think it was Daisy who mentioned it as well of like seeing yourself represented. And I don't think that representation will save us all. I'm going to be very clear about that, but it is the starting point for especially disabled folks, right? When so much of the world is telling us in so many different ways that like we're not meant to do certain things or we're not meant to have certain dreams, that representation or that witnessing of each other is like such a revolutionary starting point so that then art can be the central part of our culture because art is such a universal language, I think. And it's, for me, art is like when my soul, my heart can't communicate in any other way, I have to create art, and that's how I have to share what's in my spirit. So that is my answer, and I'm done speaking now.
I love these responses. They got me thinking, they got me meditating, and they got me excited for the future. I have one last question for y'all. I wish we had more time because I kind of wanted just to ask you about your entire background and how you became artists and how you came to be here. But instead, I'm going to ask you all the same question again, a big, gigantic question that reveals my own biases. But I think that you all are saving the world. I think you all are necessary for the survivorship of everyone on this planet Earth through the thing that you are doing. So I'm asking you, how is disability culture necessary? How is disability culture, how is our art and our way of being helping to save the world or necessary for the world to be saved? Again, big question, slightly ridiculous, but I want to invite you to dream about the future. I know I'm feeling really activated around what you have manifested with us today and what I feel you're going to be manifesting in the future. So let me go back to Galen, if that's all right. I'll go with Galen, then back to Purple Fire Crow, then Daisy, and then I'm going to close out with Lotus Boy, if that feels okay with folks. Thank you so much for the head nodding and the thumbs up. That helps me so much. Hello, Galen, again. All right, so very simple, easy to answer question. How is disability culture gonna save the world?
That is a big question, but I think it has to do with the fact that all the things that I've heard so far that we, in order to make art, not in order to make art, because you can make art anywhere. You can make it in an unsafe space. You can share it. I mean, I've done a lot of that. I think we all have probably. But what I think is so great is when you get disabled artists together, the things that happen are just genuinely so much more caring and sensitive, and it's not just of the disabled people in the room. It's just like the world blossoms in a way where people take the time in a healthy, good disability space, right? In a space where we're living by the values that we actually believe in. We are making space for people to express what they need, and we're trying to meet those needs in a way that honors everybody's value. And I think that that's the only way the human race is going to go forward, right? Like at some point we can educate each other and support each other and create communities of care with each other, but we can also be like a model for how to do it. Like anytime we bring in other people who don't have our lived experience yet, because you can be disabled at any time, right? Like anytime you bring in people who are aging, who don't really know what to expect and don't have any reference or education around how life could be for them, you know, anytime we expand our world to help people to see what's possible with disability culture, I think it just creates a more caring environment. I think of disability culture as a place that is not only creative and thriving, but is also like welcoming to everyone in a respectful way, right? And so like I really think that anytime I've experienced in April, I recently did something called the Music Inclusion Project at Berkeley, and it was led by this amazing BIPOC disabled violinist named Adrian Anantoinan, and he brought all these disabled and non-disabled artists together for a chamber orchestra, and it was just like one of the most beautiful weeks of my life, because everybody is just so there to be like working with each other in a way that you just don't see in mainstream culture, and we can bring that to ourselves and to other people, and that I think will change the world one interaction at a time, and there's a tipping point at some point. So that's my thoughts on this, but I'm excited to hear what everybody else has to say, so I'm done speaking now.
Purple Fire Crow, I'm asking you the very big question of how is disability culture going to save the world?
Okay, this is Antoine speaking. I'm using my voice again and signing. Oh, it was already said, I was wonderful said, just recently how we can save the world. And once again, disability culture saved the world. 2020, I remember that everyone that was getting segregated and they were pushing, BIPOC people and pushing disability people away, and then people couldn't drive together. So then they had to bring disabled people together, BIPOC people together, and then finally we started to drive together, and there's the proof right there that we saved the world, but we constantly have to continue to learn how to save each other again, again, and again, because something's always going to pop up, and things are evolving and changing. So these disability culture, these individual spirits, these are the superhero that we need to be grateful for, and to continue learning how to use our power. And if what then we learn how to really listen to each other, ooh, it's a beautiful thing. Yeah, I have that quote. That quote. I said it before. Just because you can't hear doesn't mean you know how to listen. Yeah, so we have to learn how to listen. Yeah. So that's it.
Daisy,
Hi.
how do you think disability culture is going to save the world?
I think we've had so many like remarkable answers to this question. I think my addition would be, in the way that our fight for accessibility and whatnot um, does impact other people who may not even realize it. Uh, Ramps make it easier for everybody to walk, elevators make it more convenient for any form of wheels to get up higher places. Just small examples of how this works. Recently, my dad and I, we were having love to have big philosophical conversations, and we were talking about how uh, interesting it is that access creates that for people beyond just disabled people, that it impacts other groups. And I think our culture of fighting for this and creating spaces for us will continue to help impact other groups of people who need it. Um, and then the acceptance that we create within those spaces too. So yeah, thank you.
I feel like I've accidentally requested a manifesto from our panelists, and y'all are delivering. Thank you. Lotus Boy, how is disability culture going to save the world?
This is Lotus Boy speaking again. Yeah, I feel like I can't say too much new that hasn't already been said. I agree entirely with what all of these folks have shared. To be a bit more sarcastic about it, I think that we're used to abled people trying to save us all the time and failing and doing so in a way that makes things worse. And we always have the answers, right? We know ourselves better than anyone else. And like Daisy, like Galen, like Antoine, like all of them have mentioned in different ways, when we give the answers to, and oftentimes the simplest answers, right, to solving accessibility problems, it's inherently exponentially beneficial for everyone else around us. So when folks stop trying to save us, then we'll actually at some point save them, I think. And I'm done speaking now.
Can we just give a big round of applause to every beautiful person who was on this panel? Thank you for your wisdom. Thank you for your artistry. Thank you for answering my ridiculous questions. Thank you to the San Francisco Disability Cultural Center for bringing us all together.
Oh my goodness, Claudia, I just have to say that I think you are representing everyone's hearts right now with your energy from that conversation. I am just shook. Thank you to each of you. So we've literally just heard the strongest arguments for how disability culture is going to save the world. So let's get into it a little bit. Let's have a little community dance party to close this out.